What is going on YouTube? This is Jake Xavier Sports, and our Jacksonville Jaguars are not looking good right now. We are in a terrible, terrible stretch here. We've now lost 3 games in a row, 4 out of our last 3. And quite frankly, we're probably playing like one of the worst NFL teams in the league right now. And I don't think there's anybody that we can really beat, to be honest with you. Now, we'll be taking on the Philadelphia Eagles in London this upcoming Sunday. Now, as for the game last week versus the Houston Texans, we lost the game 20-9, and Blake Bortles was benched during the game. I'm pretty sure we all know by now that Blake, he's going through a bad stretch right now. And, when we all saw that game on Sunday and he had that last turnover, which was his second fumble in the game, I think pretty much every Jaguar fan knew it was just time to make a change to Cody Kessler. Now, Cody Kessler came in and he had one successful drive where he led him to the end zone for a touchdown. He cut the lead to 20, or cut the deficit to 20-7, and then was able to drive the ball down the field again. And we were able to, we were put in a position to score again. But Cody Kessler threw an interception. The ball hit T.J. Yeldon right in his hands, and he dropped it. And the safety was able to get the interception. So it was a couple good drives, but it was still more of the same as far as the offense not being able to move the ball. Now, obviously, Cody Kessler moved the ball a lot more effectively, but what they were asking him to do wasn't too much. It was little dink and dunks. And quite frankly, Houston's defense was just playing a little bit soft because they didn't want to give up any big plays because they were already up 20-0 in the game. So this team was supposed to be a Super Bowl contender coming into the season. And if you used to tell me Bortles was going to play bad, okay, that's fine. We all know Bortles has played bad before, but I didn't think the defense would give up 40, 30. It's just a lot of things, wrong with this team right now beyond the quarterback position. But Blake cannot turn the ball over. His biggest problem right now is that he's turning the ball over. And that's why I believe, we're not going to be able to ever win with Blake, I believe, as a starting quarterback. Because anytime we see him go through these slumps, he ends up getting a lot worse than what he was before when he went through the slump before. So let's say Bortles has a couple good games in a row, right? Then he plays bad. But then once he comes back and plays good, when he plays bad again, he plays worse than what he did before. So it's like you're taking 1 step forward, 5 steps back. And right now as a franchise, we have a good defense. We have a very formidable running game. I know everybody wants to, I know everybody's frustrated with Leonard Fournette not playing, but let's be real. He's our number 4 overall pick. And since he's been in the NFL and been healthy, he's been successful. So he's had a 1,000-yard season with 9, 10 touchdowns last year. So he's not a bad football player. He's a rare commodity to have, and we're lucky to have him. So you bring in Leonard Fournette, back from injury. Now we got Carlos Hyde from the trade with the Cleveland Browns. If you weren't aware of that, we gave up a 5th-round pick for Cleveland Browns starting running back Carlos Hyde. He's had a pretty good season so far, and he's had a great career so far in the NFL. A lot of you probably remember him from Ohio State. But if we can get those 2 guys in the running game, and for them, if those guys are going to be effective in the running game, then we won't need to rely on Bortles. Bortles right now, he's not the only problem, but the biggest problem with him is the turnovers. And although we might not ever win a Super Bowl with him, just for this season, we might need to just stick with him and kind of ride this wave and just, see if we can create some momentum and see if, if we get some of our guys back from injuries and the running game was able to get going, then we'll see, how we can utilize Blake in that offense. But right now, it's not looking good, and Blake Bortles just doesn't seem to be the answer to the Jaguars' quarterback situation. So I would be shocked if they didn't try to, address the quarterback situation in the offseason as far as drafting one, trading for one. You can argue they should have did it last season. We've had Kirk Cousins available. We could have traded for Alex Smith. Obviously we could have traded for Eli. I don't think they would have given him up in the offseason, but, you never know. Teddy Bridgewater is on the market. It was a lot of guys we could have gotten, but the Jaguars felt like Bortles was the best situation going forward. I don't think they really envisioned Bortles playing this bad and regressing this much. So, I don't see how they wouldn't have envisioned that. It's not like Bortles has been setting the world on fire. With the way we want to construct our team, we have a lot of money dishing out into our defenders, and you know, a lot of people want to say, hey, well, that's why we drafted Taven Bryan, or that's why we drafted Ronnie Harrison, but those guys aren't really playing. I mean, Ronnie Harrison's playing pretty good, but Taven Bryan's not really playing good right now. So can you really confidently say he's going to replace Calais Campbell and we can just throw a bunch of money at a free agent quarterback? You know, you never know. Hindsight's always 20/20. So, you know, with Blake, we're just going to have to stick with him this season. You know, we're stuck with him because we made that decision. So hopefully things will start to turn in the right direction as far as the offense is concerned, but I highly doubt it. It just doesn't seem like this offense is going to take off at all this year. And for all these guys saying that we should trade for a quarterback mid-season, just give me a break. I mean, you know, of course I'm a fan. I'm going to, you know, like the idea of bringing in a guy to compete. But at the end of the day, when have you ever heard of a quarterback coming in mid-season and leading the team to a Super Bowl or even leading the team deep in the playoffs? It just rarely happens. To ask a quarterback to come in to with our offensive line and the situation we have with no running back, and we don't even have a number 2 wide receiver, let alone a number 1. You know, I don't think a lot of quarterbacks would be successful with what we have going on offense. We didn't really do a good job evaluating this offseason and getting guys to help out Blake or help out this offense, really. So, and hey, injuries happen, so you don't really plan for injuries. But this just speaks to how bad our depth is. You know, there's a lot of teams with injuries this year, but you got to be able to overcome it. You know, that's what makes that's what separates the good teams from the great teams from the bad teams, is, you know, learning how to maintain injuries and also not turning the ball over. And that's one thing we need to work on. Continue to work on, because Blake is not the only one turning the ball over, and then we got to catch the ball too. That's a big part of it as well. So, yeah, we all want to just criticize Blake and good on Blake's case, which I'll be the first one to get on his case when he's playing bad, and now he's playing bad, and now he doesn't deserve to have a starting job. But the Jaguars are still giving it to him. They're still going to give him a chance, and I don't necessarily, you know, believe it's the right move, wrong move. It's just it's literally the only move we can do right now in order for the season to not go into shambles, if it hasn't already. So I think if we were able to go 4-4 heading into the bye week, that would be huge. And, you know, I think a lot of fans will be happy with that result. And guys, let me know how you guys think it's going to turn out this Sunday. I'll definitely drop a preview video later on in the week, like maybe tomorrow or the next day. And, you know, a preview of the game versus the Eagles in London. Now, we usually play well in London, so I guess advantage Jaguars in that aspect, because the Eagles aren't really playing good at all. They're kind of struggling as a team, you know, questioning whether Doug Peterson is their guy, even though the guy just won a Super Bowl. It's going to be an interesting matchup. You know, hopefully we win. Like I said, we have the advantage of playing in London, and we have a 3-game winning streak in London. So hopefully we'll make that 4. But yeah, definitely leave a comment. Let me know if you guys really should, if you guys think we really should trade for a quarterback or stick with Blake. I hate to be having these conversations now in the middle of the season where we're at 3-4, but it's just a reality. So definitely thank you guys for watching. Definitely drop a like below, and definitely subscribe if this is your first time watching. But other than that, go Jags. I will see you guys next time.